So yeah, back here just a few seconds after the last one. I'm gonna talk about something a little bit more, I guess, serious in a way, but kind of what's been on my mind and stuff here the past, few days, anyways. And again, it's gonna be another NPC topic and stuff, but anyways, though, is like, excuse me, today, for example, me and my wife we went to my brother-in-law's birthday party, I guess you could say. Sorry about the dog going, but anyways, he's hearing them razors in the distance. But hold on a second. Sorry, I shushed him there for a second. But anyways, went to his birthday party. He's up there at fucking Arby's. Well, anyways, he was kind of showing off. He got like a Cincinnati Reds hat and jersey and stuff. And like I said, I don't have a lot of human interaction and stuff. On anything other than like this is surface level, but you know what I'm saying, other than hey, how's it going, nice to meet you, I'm trying to get this shit done, take care of stuff, I'm having to deal with people, like everything, I'm getting set up. But like family, they actually will sit around and have like some semblance of a conversation other than just talking about doing work and getting shit done, where I'm trying to get these people moved along. And it's just kind of odd to me, like seeing people like that, like the bread and circuses, type shit, where it's like, for the longest time, like I never could see why people gave a fuck about sports or anything like that. And the more I learn and know about stuff, and that's all just like one big like low vibrational frequency farm and stuff like that. And it's kind of pitiful seeing like these just kind of like, I mean, it's gonna sound bad, I guess, but like just out of shape fat boys complaining about sports people doing good or not. And it's just like, bro, who the fuck are you? Like, you're not there, But aside from all these things, like, sports is just like such NPC culture. Like, um, and I've always thought that, like, before I could even, like, kind of combine it with this, And what I'm getting at here is everything has kind of been unveiled on a somewhat of a normie capacity, with the files and, kind of everything's going on. That's kind of sent a lot of people down the rabbit holes and stuff like that, that I honestly never thought was going to happen to people. Because if you haven't watched any of the other videos, I've kind of been in on some of this shit for like 10 years and stuff like that. I talked about stuff to like people I was close with and stuff like that, but they all still thought I was crazy and stuff. My wife, me and her were on the same page on shit, but, excuse me. But anyways, though, with all of this is, it's like I say, it's out there in front of people. And then this has sent a lot of people on like a downward spiral, if you want to call it that, again, to looking into other things. And with that, some of the worst stuff, I mean, there's so much more that's like, it goes even deeper, obviously, with things, but this here is more than most normies could fathom being a thing, right? And I don't know, like, what it's going to take. Like, they're literally, like, I want to say that most people are aware that the politicians and the people like in movies and stuff like that or whatever, and these pop star people and stuff like that are literally raping and eating your babies. And it's like I say, I've been aware of this shit for like 10 years and stuff, but it's become kind of a normie thing. But at the same point, like, how can you still give a fuck about like baseball? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you still go about society? And I know why, because they're NPCs. They're literally just program filler people, like, with no souls. They don't, again, you're trying to talk to them and they don't have a speech option for that thing, you know? But for people who claim to care, who pretend to be these people, who think these things, like, my question is like, how do you go on in society? Because I know that they're not like mentally able to handle these things and they just want to escape and get back into stuff. Like, I get that. You know, my journey kind of started whenever I was just mowing yards and going to college and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have to report in and shit like that or whatever to my 9 to 5 and stuff at that point. So, you know, I kind of had some time to go through my, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy, and like kind of go down the rabbit holes on stuff. Uh, and, but my point is though, is like, again, it's really sad to see that some of the worst shit, well, I know it's definitely the worst shit that they've ever heard about or seen and stuff like that, yet they still are falling for the same old tricks. They're still, you know, thinking they're going to vote their way out of this. They're still thinking like, you know, they're still kind of just pretending and going on about society, you know, the quote unquote nothing ever happens thing, you know. They're not looking into shit. They still want to defend a certain J people, you know. They still want to deny the existence of these other things. And for these people, this here is the worst thing I think that they will ever hear, that's going to be like kind of put in their face in a sense. And if this isn't going to change them, I truly believe that nothing will, because this is like, again, the worst fucking shit imaginable for these people, you know. And it like breaks down everything for them, I feel, you know. Like I say, I think that there's a lot of things that these things are connected to that still, I mean, if you want to call it worse, but at the same point, like, it's all still like fucked up and bad as hell, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to sit here and be like edgelording on it, but, you know, um, if this isn't going to cause a change in the how everything goes, ain't nothing, man. You know what I'm saying, for the NPCs and the normies. Like, if you're not woken up at this point, you ain't gonna fucking wake up, my dude. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not born yet. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so that's kind of, I guess, my take as of right now on everything. I mean, I could sit here and go down like certain lists of things that's going on and name off my predictions and what's going to happen and things like that. But, you know, I'm not, like, because I'm just a guy chilling here with his phone sitting on top of a two 1 gallon buckets with a rock in behind the phone, smoking a rolled cigarette at about 2 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Um, However, though, I do think it's important, though, that in your kind of normie life, if you are in on some shit, or even if you're just kind of waking up and figuring shit out, you know, with everything that's kind of happened here past month or so, I mean, that's cool, but uh, if you can kind of just say what you think and don't give a fuck about anything, don't give a fuck about the labels and what you're going to be called, because there's somebody that's going to be in a crowd of people, if you were to speak it to them, that had this in the back of their mind, but they thought they were crazy. But if you speak it, then it's like, you know, it's gonna like validate them, and then it's gonna kind of be like a domino. Like, the real ones are gonna kind of recognizing stuff like that. And I think some of the real ones and stuff that are waking up and trying to do changes and make shit happen and stuff, um, they will. I think that there's a certain amount of people that's getting their shit in order, because I know you can't just drop everything and go. Like, it takes a few years worth of planning. Time is speeding by like a motherfucker. But I think that we do have a few years and shit like that. Uh, before shit really goes down. Could be wrong, but now's kind of the time to be getting your shit in order. And I think a lot of people are, you know. Um, but yeah, like I say, if you're not woken up at this point, you're either not born or you're not going to. And there's a lot of people out there, man, that's like, I know they're just kind of talking about the draft and stuff to kind of get people freaked out and to get people like kind of already in that divisive state. They do two things. They either will mention something, get people freaked out, loose farming, get everybody kind of arguing and stuff amongst themselves. This is divide and conquer. Everything is everything, bro. Red team, blue team. What the fuck? It's all the same old shit. And anyways, so there's that. But like, I love hearing the night birds. But excuse me. But yeah, like I say, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was thinking about the owls and stuff. But yeah, you're not born yet, or divide and conquer and stuff. But then they'll like drop these things, and it's like they'll get people used to the idea. That way, whenever they do implement things, it's not as big of a shock. You know what I'm saying? And more people kind of go along with it. Like, if people are legitimately, going to go and stuff like that, like, that's crazy. And I know a lot of people have a lot of regret, because I think a lot of people started realizing and stuff like after 2020 and stuff like that. But like I said, I've seen a statistic where it was like, supposedly like 85% of people got vaccinated. And I get that some people, woke up and realized shit after that. But, whether that had all these health effects and stuff or whatever, you know, which I believe it did to a certain point. And also, put a lot of that, the nanos, you know what I'm saying, in people. But at the same point, it's 85% of the people that kind of went along with it. And if we're just kind of sticking with that same statistic, because I know there's been more people kind of woke up since then and shit. But at the same point, you know, in times of pressure, because I know you always look at everything in hindsight. And there's a lot of people that regret it, say they hate it, and having to go through it. Yeah, but like, a lot of places, sorry about the dogs, like I say, they're hearing the owls, but a lot of places, you kind of seen it was coming. The job I was at the time, construction job, I done told my wife, hey, I'm seeing the writing on the wall. If it comes down to it, I'm going to go back delivering pizzas or something, just out of principle, in a sense. Like, because at that time, I wasn't even really looking into all the health effects and stuff of it. But I had my focus elsewhere on stuff, right? Well, anyways, because it started off where they started shrinking the number, like certain departments having different numbers of people, So I think that, yeah, there's some places that the time was coming, and it's like around here and stuff too, that extra dollar on the hour, bro, like, at some bullshit job that you hate anyways, like, this is the perfect excuse to get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying? Uh, like around here, unless you're doing like some kind of off the wall shit, whether if you're working fucking construction at a school, hospital, McDonald's, whatever, bro. Like, it's all about the fucking same. I mean, it's close enough. You know what I'm saying? Time you take out all the bullshit and stuff. I mean, there's a few things I've talked about before that's like normie jobs kind of hook you up and stuff with a little bit, but you know, point is though is if when it comes down to being like kind of stressed and they're putting it in your face and like really hyping it up and you got a lot of people like going with the flow and stuff, how many people's actually gonna go? You know what I'm saying? Like how many people's gonna regret it later on, but they're gonna comply at the time, you know? That's what I'm trying to say. And like I say, I think that there's a lot of people waking up. They're kind of going through a metamorphosis right now. They're figuring shit out that haven't been, you know, previously and stuff. And that's great. And I think that these people here are going to be ones that ain't 10 years tired on the fucking shit, you know, for example, or whatever, or even longer, some of them, of us, you know. But these are going to be motherfuckers that's got some more, like I say, they're fresh. They still have a little bit more of a drive. They haven't realized that shit don't happen, you know, most time. It's kind of the same old thing, but, you know, but yeah, who gives a fuck about baseball whenever, you know, you're still checking, seeing what the politicians are saying, or you're still watching movies and shit like that at night, you know? Uh, with actors and shit, you know, was done some fucked up shit. Um, well, this video went longer than I was planning on, but that's how it goes around here. It's one of the things I was worried about when I first started making these videos and shit like that. Is like, how am I? Because I wanted to shoot for about I think originally like 20 minutes, but then I was like, it's kind of fucking long for rambling. Like 10 minutes, especially where I'm uploading every goddamn day, basically. You know, I was like, you know, 7 to 10 minutes is like a good amount. Fuck, dude. Like I would have to, I would have like half a year's of videos or something if I just split them up into like parts like that. You know what I'm saying? Which I have done some, but you know, kind of like the working on shit. I mean, fuck, I've got like, if combined everything, well, like almost a 2 hour video or something of just clips of me fucking with shit. I don't know, it's crazy. But anyways, if you guys watch this all the way through, appreciate it. Appreciate y'all letting me blow cigarette smoke on you or on the phone, you know what I'm saying, this whole time. But pretty tired. Gonna chill a little bit tonight for a few more minutes anyways. And it's gonna be a little bit colder tomorrow. It's already kind of cold and stuff. Got to get up on the roof. Got to scrape some old paint chips off and some of like the bird boxes and stuff around. They need retouched up. Need to get that done. Like I say, on the warm days, I already seen the waspers fly around. I got to go scrape the paint chips. I ain't got it here beside me. I got it up there, but I've already got a paint scraper attached to a fucking tent pole so I can get up high and scrape with and stuff. And then I'm going to take that off or put it on the other end like it's a fucking kung fu staff or whatever. Put a paintbrush on it and so I can get up high and paint it up, and then get as high as I can with my hands, just reaching. Going to caulk all the seams and stuff up because if you can tell, this siding's just that masonite. That's the way it is up there and stuff too. Then we've got a rain coming in the next day, and then after that, gonna go spray around all the windows and shit. So, well, that star that was flashing's gone now. That shit's always sus. It was real low too, but it wasn't a plane or anything. Just kind of right through the tree line there. But Anyways, yeah, y'all watch this all the way through. Y'all's goated. Appreciate it. Hope y'all have a good one.